Tracy. Welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before, or welcome back if you watch my videos. And if you do, I thank you so much. I know a lot of you are making my stuff, and that just warms my heart. Some of you make it for yourself, some of you are making it for gifts for the holidays, and some of you want to sell like I did. And some of you are selling already. I know that. I've gotten a couple comments about that, and I love that. But if you're making some of these things and you want to start selling, I get a lot of questions about what should the title look like and what should I put in the description. And that's what this video is about. It's a little different than some of my other videos where I show you how to make upcycled items. I'm just going to talk a little bit about listing. Okay, so let's talk about the titles. Now, every selling platform has their own specific number of characters that you can put in the title. So my examples are going to give or take a few words. You can use words you like, pluck out the ones you don't. But the best way for me to explain what to put in the title is just to give you examples of what I would do with some of the pieces that I have. And another quick little tip, in my titles, I always put, when I sold, T. Myers. That is my name. And I put that at the very end so that people didn't have to look up my store or look up my page on eBay. They could just type T. Myers in their description and all my items would come up. So let me give you an example of, okay, say this black purse. And by the way, everything here I have tutorials on my YouTube channel, and a lot more. So if you see anything you like, you're going to find it, and I will show you how to make it in my tutorials. So this is one that I've done, and it's a long black fringe purse. It's actually made out of fabric, but then it has leather fringe and just lots of fun embellishments. The strap is made from belts, and it's a crossbody. Okay. Let's say I was listing this. I would say something like, I always started it with handmade. I'd say handmade, upcycled, long black leather fringe bag, crossbody purse, because you want bag and purse in there because people will search different. And then I would say festival, boho, gypsy, hippie, words like that. And so if you have any characters left, you can put art in there. Some people look up art bags or embellished. And you can add, you already have black in there because you said long black leather fringe. You can add another color like pink or fabric flowers. Simple as that. You just want to think of the keywords that people will be searching for. Okay, I'm going to give you another example of a purse. So we have this purse, okay? And so a purse like this, I would say, and this is also a crossbody, you would want to put crossbody or shoulder bag. So whatever your purse is, if it's a shoulder bag, put shoulder. If it's crossbody, put crossbody. So something like this, I would say handmade, upcycled, vintage lace purse, crochet, off-white, pink, fabric, because it's a fabric purse. People might be looking up fabric purse, art, and then you can go, if you have space left, say things like boho, hippie, gypsy, bride, wedding, festival, romantic, shabby chic. Okay? Okay, let's do one more purse. Now this purse, I don't have the tutorial. This comes out Sunday, and it's a two-parter. And something like this is a shoulder bag. I would say handmade, upcycled, fabric, patchwork purse. Then I would say fringe bag. And then I would add some colors. I would say purple. People love purple, by the way. Purple, red. And then I would go into maybe velvet flowers. People love velvet flowers. And then say, back to the gypsy, boho, hippie, patchwork. Did I say patchwork? You can say embellished. That's a long word. That's kind of, you can say decorated or embellished. Okay, does that give you some idea? I'm going to move on to a scarf now. Okay, so I have this scarf, and it has lots of embellishments, fringes and laces. So a scarf like this is very long, and a lot of people look for long scarves. So I would say handmade, upcycled, long fringe scarf. And then I would say vintage lace crochet, off-white, jewelry, because I have jewelry sewn this. And then you can say neck piece. And just talk about whatever you have on there. Fringe, brooch, or whatever you have. I have pearls. Okay, so you got to be careful with things. This has like a gold colored necklace and a strand of vintage pearls. You can put pearls and like gold in your list, in your title, but don't put it in your description. You have to be very careful. Like a gold necklace, you would want to say in your description, when you're describing it down below, gold tone. Otherwise, people will possibly expect 24 karat gold or something like that, and you don't want to appear deceptive in any way. So anything silver or gold that's not pure, I say gold tone or silver tone. And the same with like the pearls. I will say pearl type beads. I won't say a pearl necklace. In the title, you don't have room for all that, but make sure you put it in your description, pearl type beads, if you have like a strand of pearls or something. So just be careful there. Okay, so let's move on to a piece of clothing. I have this sort of duster kimono that I made from a dress and upcycled, and I put patches and lettering and things like that on it. So if I were to list something like this, I would say handmade upcycled. I always start with that. And I would say, let's see, handmade upcycled, long kimono, caftan, duster, embellished, peace sign, fringe, aqua, because the main piece is aqua. You can say maxi because it's to the floor. Yeah, so patchwork because there's patches on it. Just, look at it and as if you're describing it to an alien that knows nothing about what you're listing. What is this? It's a duster or kimono or caftan. It's got fringe. It's got a peace sign. It's got patchwork. Color is important. Length is important, like the maxi. And then I would always put, like I said, my name at the end. I hope that helps. I mean, if you ever have any question, show me a picture. I'll put my email up here. And a lot of people send me pictures in my email, and I'll help you with the description. So, okay, let's get into more of, after you've done your title, how to do your descriptions. Okay, so I have my glasses on because I have some notes here. I want to talk about the description. After you do the title, most selling platforms have kind of some boxes and things you have to fill in about the item, but then there's a big box of just you need to think up some words in a description to tell about your item for sale, and that's what I'm talking about here. And I'm not pretending to be an expert on online selling for sure, but I do have a lot of experience, and I sold successfully for over 10 years online. And then before that, I sold in vendor spaces. So I'm just sharing with you tips and tricks that sort of help me be more efficient. Okay, in the description, okay, you already have your title now, and you go down to the description, and you want to write on a piece of paper, take some time and figure out how you want your description to be, kind of a format. That way you don't get writer's block when you sit down, what do I want to say? So I am going to give you an example of the outline I always used on my items, whether it was a purse or a duster or a scarf or whatever. I followed the same basic guideline. So the first thing I did was, I call it a brief overall description of item. So when they get down to the description, tell them again what you're selling. But this time, fluff it up a little bit. You know, in the title, we have to be very basic because we only have a certain amount of characters. But in this overall description, you can fluff it up a little more and use really pretty words. Like, say that black fringe bag that I showed you in the beginning here. I would say something like, this listing is for a beautiful long fringe fabric bag or long leather fringe. Lots of embellishments, crossbody strap made from belts, adjustable. You know, just fluff it up and give a basic description again of what you're selling. And then, so that would be my first sort of bullet point on my little outline when I'm sitting down at my computer. So the next thing I would do is an overall statement about you or your creations. Now, I always put this paragraph in because it tells people these aren't brand new fabrics that I got from the fabric store. These come from thrift stores and basically, so I'll read to you my statement, and I don't sell anymore, so feel free to use it if you want. So it says this, my overall statement about my creations. Majority of materials used to create my items are upcycled from my longtime collection of pre-owned garments, unique textiles, vintage linens, and found treasures. This makes them earth-friendly and one-of-a-kind. I may make similar items, but no two pieces are ever exactly the same. So that was always my second thing that I put in there. It just tells them that these aren't brand new fabrics and things. Expect some flaws, you know, just so they know what to expect. Okay. So then my next, after the brief overall description, overall statement, I did materials and embellishments. Now, this is a list. So before you do this, let's see, I should put another little bullet point next. I would describe the bag a little bit more if you didn't already in your brief overall description. Now, the brief overall description can say things like, do you have a U-shaped bag? But if you keep this very brief, the next step I would do would be like, this is a U-shaped bag with a V cutout, or a rectangle shaped bag with an extra long crossbody strap, or just a few more details if you want right there. But then I go to materials and embellishments. And this makes life so easy. If you just put one of those little bullet points in your listing, materials and embellishments, and then just make a list underneath. Let me show you an example. So for this bag, I would start with black denim body, because the body of this bag is made from black denim. And then I would say belts, 2 belts for the strap, and I always like to put whether they're faux leather or genuine leather. So I would say 2 faux leather belts, straps. I would say long black genuine leather fringe. I would say boho style pattern fabric, sequined gimp, vintage lace. And you're just listing them down the thing. That just really saves you a lot of time. I just would lay my bag next to me when I'm doing this materials and embellishments. Just type in everything that I have on here. Gimp trim, ivory and black gimp trim, lace flower with a jewelry center, fabric Phillip flower, yarn braids. And you'd want to add colors here too, because that's important. Purple flower, pink sequin trim, gold tone, owl pendant, feathers, just every single little thing, beaded necklaces. So under the materials and embellishments, just write every single thing that you have. And then at the bottom, you can write lining. Underneath, once you list everything on the outside of the bag, you can write vintage floral lining with polka dot pockets on the inside, or turquoise and polka dot pockets on the inside. You know, just be as thorough right there as you can. And if you have a tapestry fabric, you could write that, or tapestry paisley fabric. Seems like a lot, but if you just kind of follow this, it helps guide you. Okay, and then I also did signed hang tags on the back of it, and I'll explain that. And that's another thing you can put at the bottom of your list of materials, signed hang tag. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I say signed hang tags. So when you sell these artistic bags, people want them signed, and they will ask you, are they signed? And you want to sign them. So I tried a lot of different ways to sign my bags, but I found this is the easiest. I would go to eBay, and in the search, I would type in vintage hang tag. And then you find all these listings of these beautiful hang tags that people have cut out and added ribbon to. And, you know, then you're also helping to support other small businesses. So I would take a hang tag like this, and I would find a spot to sign my name. And I don't have them with me, but you know those tiny little gold safety pins? I would attach the hang tag to my bag with a little gold pin. So then I can say, this is new with tags, and I also say it's signed. Okay, so the next thing on my outline after materials and embellishments are measurements. Now, with a bag, these are the measurements I always listed. The first thing I would say would be, this bag is 13 inches, the body of this bag is 13 inches wide. And so then you don't have to worry about if you have anything fringes poking out on the side, that you have to count that in the measurement. I would always say the body of the bag is however inches wide. And then I would say underneath of that, it is how many inches tall, meaning the body of the bag. So let's say it is 15 inches tall. The fringe extends another 15 inches below the bag. So you have the width of the body of the bag, the height, and then the fringe extends another so-and-so below the bag. And then you want to, and always measure your pockets before you insert your lining. It's so much easier. I would say 2 pockets at, make the little at sign, 5 inches tall, 4 inches wide, or however the dimension is. Okay. And then I would say, this is adjustable, so that's a little bit different. So let's just say the strap isn't adjustable. I would say the long crossbody strap is 48 inches long from end to end. That means from here to here. Okay, and then I would say the strap drop, and the strap drop is, say this is hanging on a nail or a hook, the measurement from this, to where the purse starts. So just this measurement, I always hung it on like a hook or something and just measured that, and I would say the strap drop is 22 inches or whatever it is. Now, if you have an adjustable strap, I don't know, maybe I'm getting too detailed, I would say adjustable crossbody strap ranges from, and then go the smallest length to the largest length. Okay, so that's basically it for the measurements, unless you think you have something else on here. You can't have too much in your description. So, okay, the next thing I had is care instructions. Now, this is mainly for like clothing, your upcycled clothing and things like that. And everyone will vary. I would usually say on like a dress that I have lots of layered pieces, I would say dry clean or hand wash or wash on a gentle cold cycle and line dry. And then I would make a note, you may have excessive strings or fraying to clip off. If you'd want to avoid all that, take it to the dry cleaner, something like that. And then after the care instructions, I would say, thank you so much for taking a look with an exclamation point, and I would be done. That seems like a lot, doesn't it? But, you know, you get fast at it and you get used to it if you just kind of take your time and just keep with a plan. It just clears your mind so much more. So I have a couple more points about selling I'd like to make. Okay, so I just have a few notes here I want to go over. Just a couple things that crossed my mind as I was thinking of doing this video. And questions I've gotten from you are questions that I've gotten from my buyers. Okay, number one is the return policy. I know a lot of people don't accept returns. I always did. I just felt like it gave my buyer a little extra confidence and pushed them. If they're on the line, it pushes them to go ahead and buy that. So I have always done like a 7-day return policy, and I rarely get any returns. And it does stink if you sell a bag for $350 and they want to return it. But for me, it was rare. Okay, international shipping. I sold internationally for years, and I feel like you make a lot more money if you do sell international. I got to a point where I don't want to say anything bad about international shipping, but if your item gets lost, it's really hard to find it and track it and all of that. And I got to a point where I didn't want to do that anymore, and I stopped selling internationally. And the first year I stopped selling internationally, my sales went down $15,000. So if you're in it for the money, you might want to sell internationally. I got tired. You know, I just had been doing it for so many years, and I just didn't want to work that hard anymore. And I stopped selling internationally just because it made my life easier. Okay. So, another question I get from my buyers is, how do you clean these purses? You know, they'll ask, well, you can't throw them in a washing machine. You tell them you spot clean them. You take a white damp cloth and spot clean them. I got that question a lot. And then custom orders. Okay. Custom orders seem like they'd be good money makers, right? And I did it for years and years. More when I was single and just kind of not desperate to earn every penny I could, but it was paying my bills, and I did everything I could. I did custom orders and sold international. And so I stopped doing custom orders after about 3 years because I found that they weren't good money makers for me. Whenever I did a custom order for a purse, I wouldn't do it for under $350. Okay, it seems like a lot, right? But you've got to get inside of, and you can do custom orders, and people will ask you all the time if you'll do a custom order, but you've got a lot of communication back and forth. So there's a lot of time there. It takes up your time just to try to get the vision they have in their head synced with the vision you have in your head. Okay. And so a custom order, you don't always have these materials laying around. Like if I want to make this purse and just sell it, with it not being a custom order, I'll use whatever the heck I have laying around, whatever I want. And it saves me a lot of time. If you're doing a custom order, they'll be like, oh, I want a red ruby colored brooch and a blue paisley pattern. You've got to go searching for these things, whether it's online or at fabric stores or at Goodwill. And that takes a lot of time. And then for me, I was always so nervous that my vision didn't match their vision. So I would sweat and get nervous and be like, is this what they're thinking? I just stopped doing custom orders. You can do what you want. I'm just sharing my experience of years of doing this. Okay, let's see what else I have here. Another one, this is so random. I get this question a lot. How long does it take me to make one of these bags? Okay, well, I can make one in a day, but I've made hundreds and hundreds. And so I'm really fast at making them. I kind of know what works and doesn't work. I can make one in a day. So, and then the big question is probably, how much did I make when I was selling online, and how much do I sell my bags for? That just, I hate answering that question because it just varies so much. I guess probably my best year selling, I had about $50,000 in sales, and using thrifted items, my profit margin was huge because everything was thrifted, and I could make a purse for under $10 if I used certain thrifted items and whatever. So, and my bags would sell all over the board as far as price. And I don't want to bore you and get into all the different variables, but for years, I rarely had a bag that sold for under 200. My highest was 600. I sold one for $79 and I sold one for 600. So it just varies, like what your following is, what your purse is, there's just so many variables. And another little thing, if I'm not boring you already, I don't know. Okay, so when I sold my very first purse online, I sold it on eBay as an auction because I didn't know what to charge for it. And it was a little black purse made out of fabric, and it had faux black leather fringe, and I had slid beads on it. So I put this bag on eBay and I listed it for $79 as an auction for 7 days. And I just wanted to see if it would sell, how much people were willing to pay. I didn't want to jip myself, say people loved it and they wanted to pay $250 for it. I didn't want to limit myself to just listing it for $89 flat. I wanted to see what people wanted to pay. And I think that very first one went to like $119. And I was like, oh, I kind of got something here. And then it just expanded from there. So how to price them is a very tricky question. So you kind of just have to go with your gut and do your own research. What are bags selling for on Etsy? What are bags selling for on eBay? Or not what they're asking, but what they're actually selling for. So just kind of do your research there and go with your gut, and don't jip yourself, because if you put a lot of hours into this, you need to get paid for that. So I hope this helps, and I was happy to chat with you. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer what I can. Thank you so much.